We've got more reimagined Air Jordans dropping later on this year. Nike have announced layoffs that are going to be affecting 2% of the company. And Donald Trump is going to be going to Sneakercon this weekend? What? All of these stories and plenty more in this week's Sneaker Wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another banger. Every Saturday I do these sneaker news recap videos where we look back at some of the biggest sneaker releases of the week, as well as some of the biggest sneaker news stories. And so let's kick things off by recapping this week's biggest sneaker releases. First up, we had the release of the KD4 Galaxies. I was a little bit surprised to see these sell out really quick. It seems like the numbers on these were pretty low. We also had the Jound website release of the 2002 Gore-Tex. And today, the release of the week, we had the Jordan 4 Bred Reimagines. I myself missed out on the Breds. I didn't enter into any raffles. I completely slept through the Sneakers app release. I do think these will probably restock a few times. I can imagine some people returning these because there's not very much resell in them, and so I'm not ruling out getting them further down the line, but I took all L's on this week's sneaker drops. Did you guys pick anything up? Feel free to let me know. Right, let's kick it into some news. There's quite a few big stories, but I want to start off with the story about Nike, who have announced that they're going to be laying off 2% of their workforce. Nike CEO John Donahoe sent out a very long email to employees, and this is in response to a downtrend in Nike stocks. I think it's pretty safe to say over the past few years, Nike have become a little bit stale. They've become overly reliant on figures like Travis Scott to generate hype and appetite. They've completely rinsed and repeated the Jordan retro thing. And when you put that together with a lack of new innovation and exciting technology, it's of very little surprise that Nike sales are starting to suffer and they are looking to consolidate their resources and invest in their future. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know. The biggest story of the week just broke today, and it's an unexpected guest who's going to be at Sneakercon this weekend. And when I first saw the story, I was like, nah, this has got to be cap. But no, the man himself tweeted out that he's going to be attending the event. In response to this confirmation, Sneakercon have sent out an internal memo to vendors and other people that are going to be participating in the event that they need to be there early and go through heightened security clearance procedures. And this is pretty crazy. It's a pretty interesting move. What do you guys think is going on here? Is Donald Trump looking to corral some favor with the sneakerhead community as he gets ready to mount another presidential campaign? I don't know, it's a pretty interesting one, but feel free to let me know what you guys think down below. Another one of the big stories this week relates to Ye. Last weekend we had the Super Bowl, during which we saw Ye's commercial for his new merch line as well as his famous Yeezy pods. And one of the interesting things was the fact that he decided to put this merch out as well as these Yeezy pods out for 20 bucks. And a lot of the hype beasts that got onto the pods early were pretty gutted because they paid $200 for these socks. And after seeing them go online for 20 bucks, were pretty gutted. Not that the rest of us weren't laughing at them, of course. But this release seems to have been incredibly successful for Ye, who has claims that he made something close to $20 million as a result of this drop. I still think it's pretty safe to say that even at selling them for $20 a pair, he's still probably making a good $18 margin on them. And in a move to offer some redress to the hype beasts that got on board early, they have decided to offer a refund of $180 for the people that copped these early. Now, the question is, did you cop these pods out of interest? Feel free to let me know. We also had the launch of Supreme this week. Their spring summer first drop went down on Thursday, as well as a preview of their lookbook for the upcoming season. And I've got to say, there are some pretty interesting things to look forward to, but by far and away, the most interesting accessory has got to be this Ducati motorcycle. This, I'm sure, will have to be one of the most expensive Supreme items ever. The release itself was pretty cool. I think the standout pieces were probably this Maradona line as well as the Futura box logo. I didn't actually cop anything from the release, but if you did, you guys can let me know down below. Right, let's talk about some exciting sneaker announcements. I want to start off with this. Apparently this year we're going to be getting the Air Jordan 3 reimagined black cement. This rumor has kicked up in the wake of the news that the Black Cat 3s that were rumored to come out this year have actually been pushed back to 2025. Although that of course is a rumor that still needs to be seasoned. But this release here would make sense. Now some people have been wondering whether or not the This release is going to come out much like the white cement 3s from last year, with some of the aged midsole touches, as well as maybe some crackage on the leather. But other people have wondered whether or not this reimagined might take the form of maybe a suede or a nubuck upper like we've seen on certain black cement 3 samples, and almost like an inversion of the reimagined bred 4s we saw this week. I personally would be up for either, although I would be up for a suede pair. What do you guys think about that? We've seen pictures of another Air Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott, but this one is a little bit different. This pair kind of looks like a golf shoe, but according to some sources online, it's being called a baseball or maybe like a track shoe, and it's unclear whether or not these would actually release or if this is just some kind of baseball player exclusives. In this picture here, you can see them being worn on what I think is some kind of baseball mound or some kind of baseball pitch. I think these are pretty average. What do you guys think? We've had an announcement of a pretty exciting Kobe Air Force One, and this particular model is in recognition of his sneaker free agency, where he was seen wearing a mid-top Air Force One on the court. Colorway is predominantly all white with some of the Lakers yellow touches and some of the Lakers purple outlining the swoosh and stuff like that. These look really nice. They also have the Kobe logo on the back. It's a really cool homage because Kobe's free agency in sneakers was pretty legendary. I'm definitely feeling these. What about you? We've had some updated images of one of this year's best SB collabs, the Futura collab, as well as some speculation around numbers for this pair. Still no firm information on a release date for these yet, but according to some sources online, these are going to be really limited, very hard to get, something in the region of 20k to 40k pairs. Some people have even suggested that these might well be a skate shop exclusive. So if you have your plugs or your connects out there, probably best to start buttering them up now because these are going to be pretty hard to get. I've had some in-hand video looks at the upcoming Jordan 1 Wings collab. You remember we focused on the white pair, the highs and the lows in last week's video. In this video here, we can see a dark color, a black colorway of the Jordan 1 High featuring this pony hair material as well as this gum bottom sole. You can see the leather finish on the heel collar and the tongue. They do look pretty nice, although I'm not gonna lie, the pony hair thing is not for me. They also come with extra insoles as well as some extra laces. And in this video, you can also see the hoodie as well as what looks to be a dust bag as well as a Jordan carry bag stroke duffel bag type thing. And according to this video, this entire set is going to retail for $1,000. Now I'm not sure if when they refer to the set here, they're meaning all of these things together as a package are going to retail for $1,000, because if that's the case, I feel like that isn't really a bad deal. I was ready to roast these being $1,000 just for the shoes, but if it's $1,000, then you get the shoes and you get the bag and you get the hoodie and these extras, that seems like it's a little bit more value for money. But I could be wrong, maybe I'm misinterpreting the video. If anyone out there knows anything and wants to shed a light, feel free to let us know down below in the comments. In a recent feature with Interview Mag, Bad Bunny was seen wearing his next up-and-coming collab with Adidas on the Gazelle, and these look pretty cool, if not a little bit plain Jane. They feature this clear gum outsole as well as the basic black and white color blocking. They've got some of the suede wrapping around the front of the toe as well as flanking the eyelets. Rope looking laces, black tongue. It's a good looking shoe. I am a fan of Bad Bunny's collabs with Adidas, but I don't know, these don't really fill me with a whole heap of joy. What about you guys? Don't know if you guys have seen these floating around, but these are the Air Jordan 4 remastered. That's right, we've got the reimagined and we've also got the remastered series. This is a play on the Air Jordan 4, and as you can see from this model, it kind of looks like a bit of a relationship was had between an Air Jordan 4 and a Nike Fear of God 1 High, both in terms of the color blocking and the implementation of this exoskeleton TPU on the upper. I don't know how I feel about these. I mean, the whole idea of this remastered approach apparently is to introduce a nuanced approach to design, blending familiar elements with novel enhancements. We've seen this this in the past with things like the Jordan Futures. And in a sea of new hybrids this year from Jordan, I'm feeling like this is just another outlet special. More Kobe news. The Nike Kobe 5 Deep Royal Blue is coming in the holiday season. The Kobe 5, hot take, is one of the best Kobe's of all time. Definitely top 5 silhouettes of all time. These look pretty nice, although these are just a speculative mock-up. So Nike are teaming up with Meghan the Stallion on an Air Max 97 that you can actually customize yourself on the website. These are being called the Something for the Hotties by You. And this collaboration invites you to go onto the website and gain access to the Nike by You program and put your own touches on this exclusive Air Max 97. $210 though is the retail price point for these bad boys, and it is a little bit of a novel move. We haven't seen the Nike by You collaborative touch wheeled out, at least in the recent past, as far as I can remember. So who knows, this could be a success, but to be honest, I'm not really that keen myself. More foamposite news. We have the metallic red bronze releasing this holiday season. $230. A lot of people love this particular colorway. I think next to the eggplants and the galaxies and stuff like that, these are one of the most popular non-OG colorways, but let's be honest, these will most likely go on sale. The Nike Dunk Low What the KJP is coming out this holiday season as well. Now you guys might be familiar with the shoe. It actually dropped back in 2017. It was a regional release though, I think exclusive to Asia. This time it's going to be wheeled out in a more global fashion, and it features the What the motif inspired by the Dunk's original Be True to Your School series, taking inspiration from the colorways of St. John's, Michigan, Syracuse, Kentucky, etc. And so what you can be sure to see is that in the coming days, weeks, and months, the people that are in possession of these will be looking to flip them quickly on eBay and StockX. Heaps of holiday sneaker release info this week. Another one is the KD4 Pearls. We know it's a big year for the KD4. We just had the Galaxies this week. We've got the Weathermans coming out later on this year, as well as rumors around the Nerf release, and the KD4 Pearl is also one of the most legendary pairs from the KD4 model. No specific release date info at this time, but at $130 and being a really good hoop shoe, these will no doubt be popular. Some Crocs news. The Toy Story collaboration is dropping on the 21st, $70. And you might be wondering, bro, why are we even talking about Crocs? And the reality is Crocs are a thing these days. They've done such a good job to couple together what they're really about: wearability, comfort, utility, with this idea of fun and playfulness, which is why I think the collaborations that they've done have been so successful. And this is reflected in their sales data. Stocks are on the rise for Crocs. And so if you're interested in these Toy Stories, Buzz Lightyears, and the Woodies, these are going to be available on crocs.com on the 21st, as well as some other retailers as well. The Jordan 12 Baroque Brown coming out this holiday season as well. Apparently this is going to be an SP Jordan, which for those of you out there that might not know means a special project. These shoes generally come with a slightly higher price point that is justified by an increase or an elevated sense of craftsmanship and material usage. And whilst we only have these mock-up pictures to go off at the moment, I feel like this would be a really nice touch if it were an SP Jordan. We've also heard rumors of the Jordan 6 Bred coming in the holiday season as well. Now, the Bred colorway shouldn't be confused, I think, with the original Varsity Red colorway, also known as the Infrared colorway. We could see a pre-aged look applied to these, a la the whole reimagined vibe, or there could be a subtle twist on the iconic color blocking. Either way, we only have these mock-ups to go off at the moment, but you should expect to see some updates on this sneaker in the forthcoming week. We had some detailed looks at the Air Jordan 2/3 in the white and black colorway. These are set to come out in the summer this year at $160. And so these are kind of right in that gap-filling price point. Not quite as much as your normal retro Jordans, but not quite as low as your Nike Dunks. And looking at the shoe itself, I do think this silhouette really works. I do prefer this to the Jordan 2 Low silhouette, and so I could be tempted to cop these, but in all honesty, I think these are going to be wheeled out in a number of different colorways, and I think they will inevitably hit the outlets. Official images of one of this year's hottest Air Jordan 5 retros, the Olives. These are dropping on the 9th of March for $210. And for all of you OG retro heads out there, you'll be very excited to see this release. It'll be the same crew of cats that were very excited to see the Burgundy 5s that bricked last year. I don't know if these will brick quite in the same way. 210 bucks, retro fatigue. I think they'll probably sit. What do you guys think? Another Olive Jordan coming out this holiday season is the Air Jordan 1 High OG, coming out in a medium olive. I do think this is one of the nicer Jordan 1 High colorways we've had for a while. These could be in contention for one of the best colorways of the Jordan 1 High this year. 180 bucks though for Jordan 1 Highs. It just doesn't get any easier to digest. And let's be honest, if this swoosh was on back the front and this midsole slightly aged, people would be going absolutely gaga for these. I do think these are nice. I might actually consider these a cop when they come out further down the line. What do you guys think? One of the more exciting announcements that we heard of this week is a potential 4th installment of the Nike Corteiz Air Max 95. This one in a tour yellow color hue, and according to these mock-ups, these look like these could be a W shoe, predominantly black with the yellow detailing inside the air bubble as well as the Corteiz co-branding. I think it's pretty safe to say that Corteiz and Nike had one of the best collaborations from last year, and with news of Corteiz also working on the Huarache Air Trainer 1, this is going to be another big year for Nike and Corteiz, it looks like. We also had an inside look this All-Star weekend at the Future of Adidas basketball exhibit. This exhibit shows off some of the current signature models from the likes of James Harden on the Volume 8, or the Adidas Dame 9, the Don Issue 6, or the Anthony Edwards 1, the Exhibit Select Pro, the Trey 3, the Adidas Mad Infinity that we just got a first glimpse of a couple of weeks ago, as well as Adidas's latest and greatest concoction, the Nova Infinity. There's also an Adi Foam Infinity Slide, as well as an Infinity Mule. I'm not being funny, at the moment, it looks like Adidas, especially with the success of the Anthony Edwards 1 and just how well he's playing, are doing the most right now in the basketball scene. What do you guys think? Are Adidas in their bag right now basketball wise? I think they are. Let me know if you disagree. And that is it for this week's sneaker wrap. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video before you bounce, and do me a favor, go and drop me a follow over on IG and TikTok, and enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care for now, and peace.